A few people hit me up. The Twitter asked me, Bruce, besides all the stuff that's going on now, what do you think about the fight in the future with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence? Do you think it will happen? Honestly, I'm past this fight now. I really don't even want the fight to be made no more because it's clear that the boxing world doesn't want it. The boxing fans do. But like I said, we are a sport that is ruled by casuals, unfortunately. And honestly, if it's too much of a hassle, I'm going to put it like this. This is potentially one of, if not the biggest fight in boxing. If we have a hard time making a clear-cut, obvious fan fight that the fighters and the boxing fans want to see, if we got a hard time making a fight like this and it's high profile, I mean, man, that just tell you the state of this sport. So if it's too much to ask, if it's too much of a hassle, forget it. I don't even care. But as far as the fight getting made in the future, honestly, I think it's going to be harder now. Why do you say that, Bruce? Because before then, when Terrence was going to negotiations and stuff like that, in negotiations, they're really not going to pay you what you haven't been paid already. Okay? A person can request $7 million because they have gotten paid $7 million. You know? And that was supposedly the thing. These guys has asked for too much money. Nobody's going to pay you off of that. Well, this is the thing. Terrence Crawford just drained the swamp. Okay? He just got paid $10 million to fight David Avanesian, proving that there's people willing to pay him a high amount of money to watch him fight. And what adds even more of an edge to it is the fact the guy was not a well-known casual name. Okay? So when he goes back and he's like, look, I demand this, I demand that because, I've gotten paid this. Now he has proven his worth. He has established his worth more than Errol Spence, because Errol Spence never got paid no $5 million, no $4 million or something like that. He's never got paid that. So he has established his worth even more than Errol Spence has at this point. And he's gotten $10 million, so he can request $10 million. And I just don't see him being able to go into negotiations with these new advantages on his side, because he has the paper trail for it, where he can go and demand A, B, and C. And how could you tell him he's not worth that when he just got paid $10 million and somebody was willing to pay him and Errol 25 apiece, 25 million apiece on his own? No promoter, no middleman, no in-between guy, on his own. Got him and Errol a guaranteed 25 million. So how are you going to come to negotiate? How are you going to come to negotiation tables with that dude? That's why I say I think it's going to be harder to get the fight done now. That's just my opinion. But me altogether, I opt out the fight altogether, and I want to see Crawford versus Charlo. But as we've already seen, you got Errol Spence over there shooting that down, which I don't know why, because he's not going to be the one inside the ring. And what are you speaking for Jamel Charlo for? And, he's not Frank Martin. He's not signed with you. So you have a hard time giving the people the fight that they want to see. And then when there's another fight to help make up for the fight that we're not going to see, when it's look like Charlo's the next best option, you said it's not happening and he's out of the loop. I mean, you can't win for losing this sport. So this is why I say it's going to be harder. And not only that, trying to cut off or insinuating cutting off Terrence Crawford other avenues. The point is, that's for Jamel to decide, or at least it should be. But then again, if he ain't getting far with Errol Spence, and Errol Spence is on PBC, I don't know how far he will get with Charlo, and he's PBC. Maybe that's why Errol Spence said what he said. It's not happening. And he said it with such, even though I read it, you could tell he said it with such arrogance as if it's a definite. And maybe it's a definite because he knows that, Charlo's on PBC too, and it's going to be the same outcome. So that's why I think seeing this fight in the future, first of all, if you do get it, it's going to be the fourth quarter of next year. It's going to be late. That's even if you do get it, But just like I told y'all wasn't getting this fight this year. If you remember, I said these exact words. I said, you guys are not getting this fight this year, and you'll be lucky to get it next year. I still stand on that. And like I said, being that Terrence Crawford shown that he can go out here and get his money and more money than what these promoters are willing to pay him, I just don't see it going well at the negotiation table. The only way it happens is if Terrence Crawford accepts some low ball crappy deal, and why would he go backwards now? But that's what they wanted in the first place. They wanted to make it so crappy and so shitty that he wouldn't entertain it. They're just going to do the same thing again, because had there been some ambition towards fighting Terrence Bud Crawford, we would have seen it by now. All the language, all the body language, all the interviews, all the Leonard Ellaby saying the fight ain't going to happen, all the Errol Spence saying he's not worried about it kind of talk. I can go fight this guy. I can go fight Canelo. None of that stuff is directed towards Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. It's going the opposite direction. And by now, you would have had something, some kind of proof, some kind of something to let you know that it's headed in that direction. But everything they say, from Derek James to Leonard Ellaby to Errol Spence, is going the opposite direction of Spence versus Crawford. They haven't given you no inclination that they are even remotely serious about making this fight for you. Terrence Crawford has made it very clear. He's went over and beyond. He's went live for you guys. He's done interviews. He's gone on Twitter and challenged Errol Spence to challenge what he says. The man's been very open about what he wants. And very clear. And nobody believes that Terrence Bud Crawford is ducking Errol Spence. Not even the people who says Terrence Bud Crawford is ducking Errol Spence, because they are well aware that Terrence Crawford does not fear that man, just like they're well aware that Errol Spence does. So my opinion, I don't see it happening, and nor do I want to see it happen. I'm past it. I'm over it. I would like to see Charlo versus Crawford, but Errol Spence just shitted on that. So I don't know, man, but that's my opinion. I'm out.